Hey friends, it's Lola with LolaWrist.com. We are pulling this up and we'll get going. So we made it home from our Disney trip yesterday afternoon. Had a wonderful time, had a hot time. And we are back here in Missouri where, yes, we'll have humidity, but not right now. It is so nice and cool. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So I want to share with you a very quick post today. I'm going to do a song. Let's see, I'm kind of loopy still. I'm going to do a card that I got yesterday in on the trip. We got it from the card swap. And I want to do one that is one that I think would be an appropriate card to send to Stampin' Up! To thank them for the trip. Hey, Doris, nice to have you with us. And yes, thank you for welcoming us home. It's just so nice to be home. Even though, we got rain and we got crowds and I got laundry and all that stuff. It all has to happen. But it's just nice being home, isn't it? Okay, so I'm going to turn this around, and now that I have put that down a little bit, I should be able to balance it out. So let me pull this up, because I hadn't even got this far yet. Okay. So we are going to do a card, and by the way, while I'm thinking about it too, I got these. These came in while I was gone, and I'm super excited about them. I've always wanted bigger banners or pennants than what we ever had. We've had several sets over the years, and they're really small. And I wanted bigger ones, and these are what I want. I'm super excited. Hey, Ann, nice to have you with us today. This is called the Party Banner dies, and I am super excited about them. There are 20 of them. So if we take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 14. Must be different sizes that comes down. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 pennants or 14 banners. And then you have the ones that will give you the holes so you can put them in the corners. And then you also have a hole that will reinforce it. You could run another piece of cardstock or a scrap of the same color. And then it would be like one of those little white reinforcing circles. We all had to have them when we were in middle school and all of those. That really dates us. If you use the reinforcing circles for your notebooks because you had to have them because your pages were ripped out of the 3-ring binder, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so we have that, and they come separately, but they also come with a bundle. This also comes separately, but these are the alphabets. Super, super excited to have them. Now that's really interesting. So I'm curious now just to look at it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, where's P? Anybody see P? P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So we have the ampersand, and we have this combination. So this is going to be a letter from another country. We have this one here will also be from another country. We have this for the more of the tilde, the one that went My sister uses those in Spanish a lot when she's writing those kind of things. And here's a different one. So we have not only our alphabet, but we have a few extra letters too. So, yeah, I was curious. Now you all know I know my ABCs. So, anyhow, they come as a bundle, but they also come as a individual. You can get the banners by themselves. You can get the letters by themselves. And the letters are big enough that you can only put like 3 letters on the card front. Like you could spell H-E-Y, hey. You could get Sam, you could get Bob, you could get Bab. You could get 3-letter words, but I don't think 4 will work on it, okay? All right, and I started using those some today. And while we were on the trip, we sat with the gal, made friends with her in St. Louis. Her name is Emily Kimmy, and Emily Kimmy actually shared the banners with us on at Onstage. So she designed with them first before any of us. So anyhow, love meeting Emily. You'll be hearing more about Emily later. So this is a card that was up on the board, and I noticed every time I was in there, people were taking this card down and studying it. You know, I told you from the get-go, when we do swaps, they're not looking for absolute perfect combo color combinations, or especially 3D. They don't care what you're putting on the inside. They want to know how you did it. We are in our minds, we're deconstructing things. So this card was one, and it's actually a very simple card. When you look at it, it's a really simple card, and I decided that this is the one that I'm going to share with Stampin' Up! For my thank you. And I received it in my swaps. I received it from Jarmilla Vick. And Jarmilla, you did a beautiful job with this card. But so I believe I have also seen that Tammy White has used this card herself. So anyhow, you can look under Tammy White. You can look under Jarmilla Vick. And she is just jvick at stampinup.net. And it just literally folds down and it stands like so. So it's kind of a little cascading card. And when you look at it from my side, when you look at it, you get the whole cascading of the DSP. Okay? So this is the one I'm going to go on ahead and use today. And when we are sitting here tearing these cards apart in our heads, we're wishing how badly we had a ruler with us. So when I was using this card, Pam and I first had it down off the board, we were standing with Jackie van der Sar Boot from, you know her from the Pampered Stamper. And she is in the Netherlands and Canada. Now that she's married, she has actually 2 businesses. She runs Stampin' Up! In both of them because she lives there enough. So we were standing there studying it and looking at it and trying to figure out if we could figure it all out. So I know that this is 4 1/4. I didn't have to worry about that. It's 4 1/4 by 11, but I'm going to turn it sideways. And I'm going to figure out where the markings go for the score lines. So it is at 2 1/2 and 3 3/4. You know, I kind of believe you need to see how we go about figuring these things out. So I didn't even prepare ahead. I did cut it, but I don't have it scored or anything. So this is 2 1/2 and 3 3/4, and this is 6 3/4. And 8 and a fourth. I'm going to double check it. So 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 6 3/4, and 8 1/4. Okay? So we're going to do 2 of them real fast. So I'm going to take my Blackberry Bliss. I already had it cut, but I do not have it scored. So we're going to start with 2 1/2, and I am not very good at this thing. I'm the one that has bought it like 3 times and then it got rid of it twice. And Pool Boy is walking by, so he's just heard me say that. But I've tried it and I couldn't do it, and I couldn't do it until about 2-3 years ago. And a friend of mine, Lori from Lincoln, Nebraska, told me, Lola, you're holding it up. Angle that down. So I'm angling it down, and it will score right down through this. 3 3/4. 6 3/4. And 8 1/4. All right. Man, that doesn't look right, but anyhow, it is. Look, if we lay this with it, my score lines match exactly, just like so. Okay? All right, so I'm going to do us 2 of them. So let's go on ahead and get the second one done. And this is Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to score at 2 1/2 again, 3 3/4, 6 3/4, and 8 1/4. And all of a sudden, I really do like this tool. It's just learning how to use it. Yeah, at least he didn't say anything out loud. But yes, I'm pretty sure Pool Boy is just shaking his head when he heard that I've bought this now 3 times. It is what it is. Okay. All right, so
Payment will come.
Payment will come. Payment will come. But it's been like, over the 13 years. All right, so now let's go on.
How many other things have you bought 2 or more times?
Yeah, we're just going to keep going here.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Hey, Lynn. All right, so we've got these, and are those exactly the same? You got to be careful because you don't want, I want you to watch. I had it at 2 1/2 and 3 3/4. This is the back side. This first panel and the second panel are not the same as the 1, 2, 3, 4th, and 5th panel. So you must be careful when you start folding and putting it together. Pay close attention. The smaller panel mats with those score lines are here, okay? They're at the end. So I'm going to lay it over like so, making sure I got it. I'm going to fold over and over, and I'm going to scold. Yep, Lynn, you are correct. We've all been there. All right. I'm not telling anybody how many times I bought the craft ink. Again, I'm not saying it. Okay. All right. So there's this, and let's see if that all lays right. Yep. Okay, there's it. So here I'm going to set it off to the side. And again, I want to make sure that the smaller one is over on the far right. So I'm going to accordion fold it. And accordion fold. Okay. All right, so we've got those 2 pieces over here now. So I'm going to set those over. Now, when Jarmila used this, she used several of the pieces from the Beautiful Gallery DSP. And it takes more than 1 page. 1 piece will not get it, okay? So I want you to look at the house placement. See it here? But look here. Here is also some of the house placement. And there is some of the house placement. So if you're making a lot of this one, I don't know, you're going to have to use a lot of the different background pieces in this pattern paper, 6x6. But I'm going to go back to a goodie that I still have that's in the new annual catalog, and it's Thoughtful Journeys. Multiple people have this, I use this a lot. And I had certain pieces that I use for different classes, and I loved it, but I have excess. I have excess of stuff, and I'm going to go on ahead, and this is the one that I decided to pull because, number one, I love the colors. Number two, I have multiple sheets, and in a package of 6x6 paper, you're only going to get 4 of these sheets. I hate to use 3 of the new sheets for one card. Okay, so go back and look at the ones that you have multiple pieces of it that you go, I just never got around to using this. This is the one that I'm going to use. I'm going to put this one on the Mossy Meadow one, and I'm going to put this one on the Blackberry Bliss. So we're going to go on ahead and do them both. But I think there's a little bit of a way to cut it. I want to play with that too because I want to show you how I'm going to cut it. So I went on ahead and I've cut my mats. And my mats are cut at 4 3/4. And then I also have to cut mats at 4 3 1/4. And I have to cut mats that are 4 2 1/4. I will try to, I probably won't get this posted tomorrow, a PDF of it, because I'm trying to get ready for bingo and I have to be out of the house by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning for another meeting. So, and then I won't make it home till tomorrow night. So I probably won't get the PDF of this done, but we'll see. Not promising anyway. All right. So I need a piece of DSP that is 3 1/2 across by 3 3/4 going up, because I want the higher number going up. So I'm going to turn these now. So, hey, I forgot my paper cutter. I'll be right back. No. So, forgive me because I am not really with it still. Oh my gosh. Yeah, their storms are coming, I hear. Okay. So I really did start out with this in here. And then I was like, wait a second. I need to use the other cutter thing, or the Simply Score tool. So I took this back. And my mind's not working very well. So I want it to be 3 1/2 across. So I'm going to go this route. And I'm going to cut. And it should fit right in there, which it does. Okay? And then I need one that is 3 3/4 by 3. And that's not going to work. So I'm going to go with this one here because I think I can get 2 inches. Because I want the tree, like so. Now I'm going to go with 3 3/4. Let's put that on one of these. So that should fit. And I went to try and change my measurements because, I like very narrow margins. And the narrow margins we're gonna play with the whole card layout. So you're actually seeing me use the traditional 1/4 inch margins. I don't do that very often. I usually do 1/8, but it was gonna change the whole layout, and I was not about to mess up with that. I don't think my mind could have made the transitions. All right, so now this one here, I'm gonna go on ahead and I'm gonna get rid of the big tree. And on this one here, I need it to be 3 inches. Okay, and then I need it to be 3 3/4. And I think I'm gonna play a little bit. I think I want a little more of that grassy showing. So I think I'm gonna take off some. This is why I also went with the 3 pieces, because then I had a little more give in what I was getting out of my designs, okay? Where's the tape? Right in front of me. You guys are gonna think I am really a mess today. If you are new and haven't watched me before, number one, I craft on the fly. I pre-cut some things, but I am not gonna edit. I am not going to try to have everything looking perfect, because if I did that, number one, it would drive me nuts. I couldn't do it. So I have let myself accept the fact that I'm doing it on the fly and doing it a little. If I make a mistake, I make a mistake. Number one, you need to learn how to fix mistakes. Number two, you need to see. Everybody messes it up at some point or other. Everybody messes up. All right? And just because it's messed up doesn't mean it can't be fixed. And number three, I'm sorry. I spent 32 years perfecting lesson plans and all of that stuff. I'm not doing that anymore. Not doing it. So, all right. So here we go. We got to put it together. And we have this one here that goes right there. And I am only going to go about half of the way across with my adhesive, because you don't want it to be past the point that is sticking out of the fold, away from the fold. You don't want it on this side, okay? All right, so there's one. And then we do 2. And this time we're gonna get almost all of it on here, except for about 1/2 inch, okay? Thank you, Rhonda. I thank you, and I thank you. Thank you that you accept my flaws and I am what I am, you know? You want perfection, go to Hallmark. And even then, I'm gonna tell you, they're not perfect. I've seen some of those cards. They're just so-so. Let's get one more here, just to be sure. Okay. Making sure that's not there. And then this one here folds down directly onto this fold. And there's the card. How is that? How is that? I love this. I love this fold. I love being able to use some paper that I have multiple sheets of at one time. Okay, I could have gone on ahead. I could have offset this if I really wanted to. I could have moved this a little more and got a little more of this tree, so it really gave that impression that it was just the portion of the tree, you know, it was like half and half. But I like that. Now, to finish it out, we go to the back side. And on the back side, we have a piece that is 4 by 2 3/4. And we're going to put that on the middle panel. The middle panel is where you're going to do your message. I'm just going to put this, okay? Oh, I tell you, you guys are good for my soul. I needed to hear these things. Sometimes I'm kind of hard on myself. I like to get things right and I get frustrated, but I appreciate you guys accepting me the way I am. So I wanted a very elegant looking, I didn't want anything too common. I wanted it to look a little more than just casual. So I went with the thank you that is in the set called Simply Said, like this. And I'm going to go on ahead and use Mossy Meadow. One reason why is because the backdrop is Mossy Meadow, but the other why is because it's everywhere. My Mossy Meadow has really taken some hard hits, and I'm not sure why. Not positive why, but it looks like it just looks like it's got a lot of war wounds, doesn't it? Can you see them? And it also, to me, kind of has the look of a fungus on the outside edge. So I'm wondering if it's not getting some of that yucky stuff on it. So I'm going to take this, thank you, and I'm just going to write it here, like so. And I'm going to take it, this is just 1/2 inch. This is 1/2 inch. Let's take the Mossy Meadow. So Pam and I did a lot of talking about bingo, speed bingo, and we liked your ideas. You gave us some really good ideas. We decided we wanted to try something a little different, but we are keeping your ideas because I'm not so sure that, you know, in the past we've only had speed bingo 3 times, once every catalog. We're kind of leaning like, we kind of like to do it like maybe 4 to 6 times a year. So we're keeping some of your ideas to see if we can use for some future possibilities. So I'm going to go on ahead and I'm just going to take it and offset it like this. Somebody said, Patricia, you said yours is the same. I wonder what's going on. Now I've got it. I think I got it too long. I don't think I want it that long. So I'm going to cut it down. And this card is going to go with no ribbon, no bling, no dimensionals, but a message from the heart. And that's my card. That's one of them. Okay? Can you see that? I'm waiting because I can do things and talk to you at one speed, but the computer's way behind. So I have to kind of wait if I want to see something. There it is. Okay, so you got the idea of how it stands up, okay? All right, so let's do one more. We've got all of the pieces cut. I got my smaller mat, which is 4 by 2.5, or 2 1/4. Here is my medium, which is 4 by 3 1/4. And then my larger one is 4 by 3 3/4. And now we're going to cut some DSP. Ha! Have to check her out, Lynn, and see what I think of that. That's the interesting. I mean, I'm game. Okay, so this is the one we just did. And if you look at it, we had some good things up here at the top. So I used most all of this across. I did come down here in the middle and I cut down about 1/2 inch, not even that, about 3/8 of an inch I took off of the blue sky. But here's my problem. If I do 3 and 3, if I do 3 3/4 all the way across, my 3 3/4 is gonna get you're gonna get that. 3 3/4 all the way across. You're gonna get a lot of blue sky in those other two panels, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna do some adjusting on this one. That is why I have at least 3, because I might mess up. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off just a tiny bit of blue again. Okay. And we're gonna cut this one, which is, again, the DSP was 3.5. By 3 3/4. And if you wonder why I'm not using the new paper cutter, actually, I don't use these cutters hardly any. They're not my favorites. I prefer my guillotine cutter. I have a guillotine cutter that I love and have gone through multiples of. So I only use this cutter for if I'm doing something in the middle where you have to come in, come in 1.5 inches, put that down, and then start scoring or cutting. I also, and I lost you on Facebook, so give me a minute. You're there somewhere, but it closed out on me. I moved my mouse, and when that happens, it just knocks me out of place. All right, sorry. I also only use this to score. I much prefer for any of my cards, when I'm doing 100 cards and they all need to be scored, I will always go to my old paper cutter here, because start scoring it. I've worn it. I have worn it down, and I just like the depth that it goes in. I don't need it to be a real strong one that I cut through the paper or anything like that. Okay. All right. So there's one. This could be at the end. So let's go on ahead and do the end. And the end has to be 3 3/4 by 2. So let's go 2. And let's keep the purple flower as best we can. So it's a rarity for you to see me cut with this. Now Pam uses hers quite often. I do not. I'm going to take some of this down off the bottom. And I'm just playing. So don't ask me where I am cutting. I'm just taking my paper and cutting. I got my measurements. I'm just playing to see what I can get and how much purple I can get. Okay. All right. So this one was 2 by 3 3/4. And this is why you need a couple of the same patterns, because you want that middle section. It's not going to get it if you go 3 3.5, and then another one which is 3, and another one which is 2. It's not going to get it. Okay, so there's those two, and I need one more, and I'm going to go to a new cleaner piece of paper, and I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down actually quite a bit, and hope I didn't go down too far. And I'm going to get over and get rid of some of this. And now I'm going to go 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 by 3. Okay. And now I have kept the purple in all of the 3 frames. You're able to see the purple flower. It's maybe at angling at different levels, but it's all there. And now let's see what it looks like when we put it on the card. So remember, the smallest one goes to the back. So let's go ahead and get it on there right now. This one ought to be an easy one to send in the mail too, because with no dimensionals and no embellishments and no ribbon. But I love the idea of the fun fold. All right, so there's that one. We're gonna put this one here. It's gonna slide it in, and everything but about a 1/2 inch. So I'm just gonna go on ahead and put several pieces or strips of adhesive down it. I'm gonna go here. And there's none showing there. And then we're gonna go one more. And there we have it. And we'll finish up our card, and we have 2 cards. Ooh, good deal. I was afraid actually that I had put it on the wrong side. Let's see, I need one more adhesive strip right there. Okay. And we come in here and we put this in here. Okay. And there it is. They're all lined up. Put my greeting on. And this time my greeting is still going to be Mossy Meadow because I only have Mossy Meadow ink here. I didn't bring Blackberry Bliss. Pam and I will be live with you on Wednesday night. Tomorrow night is our in-person bingo. So we will be live tomorrow night, or Wednesday night, 7 p.m. on our group page. If you're not part of the group page, you have to look for stamp.ink.paper creating with Pam and Lola. It's orange. You'll know when you find it because it's orange. And then be part of that group. And I usually try to post it every 3 weeks on my blog. Okay, I'm going to take this and add a little adhesive right along here. And I have my Blackberry Bliss strip. And I'm going to cut it. And we're going to post this. And there was a purpose why I use those 2 different panels. I want to make sure you know the difference on that. So give me a second before you take off. Let's put the inside here for the message. Goes on the inside, middle piece, on the back side. Okay, so this is where I went, and I wanted you to know why I had the 2 panels that I had. I purposely selected these papers because this one here, I felt like I could use and show you I used most all of the top. Okay? I came across, I cut down a little blue here, but I used the majority of the top. If I had used the majority of the top here, this panel would have all been blue at the end. It would have barely maybe had a little bit, but not much. And I didn't want that. I wanted to have floral images in all of them. So yes, this one here, this piece, this flower and this flower, but I don't think anybody's going to clue in that that's the same flower because of the height of how I staggered them, because I cut down and got rid of some of that blue here, and I got rid of some of the blue here to bring this purple up. Does that make sense? So I think it's a matter of setting and playing and cutting with it and working with it. I don't believe I I don't believe I would have done them for a swap, only because I think that I think each one of them is unique, and I think they need to be kind of separated. Whereas if you cut them all the same pattern and you're not mixing them up and everything, it's not going to be a problem. I think this one might have looked weird if I had something else. I don't know. I just think it would have looked weird. I think you would have wanted these three together. And I think if you'd have mixed them up, I think it would have looked a little different. And the other thing, so that means each one is very individual. That is not an assembly line process. It's easy. So Jamila, you have my utmost respect because you sat there and you did all these. And the other thing is, I'm cheap. Yes, I place orders and order things over. But I don't want to give 3 pieces of paper for this one card. I really don't want to do that. That's a lot. That's you know, you only get 4 of that pattern and you're going to use 3 of them on this. So that's just me. But she did, and it was beautiful, and I'm really, really excited that I got these cards that I could come back here and show you. And now I have my thank you card that I can send to Stampin' Up. And, oh, by the way, it measures, you want to know what it measures? It measures 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And this is why I didn't add any more mats, because I didn't want anything being longer than 5 1/2 because of my envelopes. So anyhow, that's my cards for the day. Hope you enjoyed it. Guys, be safe. It sounds like here in the Midwest, we've got some storms coming tonight. Stay safe. Listen for any kind of warnings that might be coming in your area and heed them. Take cover. And if you're not with us on our group page, join us, because Pam and I are going to show you all the swaps. We're going to pull them out. We have looked briefly at the cards, but we have not opened the bag of the 3Ds, and it's a big bag. So we're all going to look at the swaps together on Wednesday night. So until then, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.